Tonight we're going to talk about how to generate revenue with video marketing. And I want to take you back all the way to 1892 and introduce you to this young lady here by the name of Julia Tuttle. Now, Julia Tuttle arrived here in South Florida in 1892, and she bought 640 acres of land just north of the Miami River, what we basically now call downtown Miami. Now, 640 acres is a square mile, or it's 137 football fields, right? And she had a huge problem. The only thing you had at that time was basically mosquitoes, alligators, and swamps. There was nothing. And Henry Flagler, this guy, had brought the train track and the train all the way down to right here, West Palm Beach. And he stopped right here. And as far as he was concerned, anything south of here was swamp, mosquitoes, and alligators. Not interested. So Julia Tuttle approached him and asked him, and I says, could you please bring down the train all the way down to Miami? By the way, this is all true story. And I will give you half my land, 320 acres of land for you to bring the train down all the way to Miami. And Henry Flagler said, no, I am not interested. So basically, Julia was screwed. You know, Miami was going to stay, with, like nothing. But fate stepped in with an event called the Great Freeze. Now, the Great Freeze happened in 1894, 2 years later. And the Great Freeze basically wiped out the entire citrus industry. Like all the lemons, oranges, everything was gone, wiped out. And all these people were basically people that were funding Henry Flagler. That was the huge industry there. And one of the things that they didn't realize was that it freezes in Florida everywhere except Miami. See, we are here at the subtropical line. The weather south of here is subtropical. North of here is just basically warm and muggy in the summer. And that was a great lesson. So what Julia did, she sent a basket of oranges to Henry Flagler with a note. Hashtag, how do you like me now? Right? And that's basically what happened with why Henry Flagler decided to say, okay, I'm going to bring the train all the way down to Miami. And the city of Miami was founded in 1896 because of Julia Tuttle and a basket of oranges. The only city in the United States founded by a woman, by the way, with a basket of oranges. So why am I telling you this? What she actually used, which is what we're going to be talking about tonight, is what's in it for me. See, until you produce content that matters to them, you're never going to move the needle. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like she offered him like 320 acres of land. Like who would take that deal? 320 acres of land. Yeah, I'd take it. Right? But he didn't care. Why would he want it? That's what we do in marketing. We offer stuff to people that they actually don't care. It doesn't matter to them. Right? So we're going to solve that problem tonight. We're going to be talking about how do we produce content with videos that actually matters to them. All right, so we're going to talk about the context of video marketing. And the context, when I talk to business owners and I talk to them about video marketing, they always have those two things. You know, why would you want to do video marketing? So the first one is because I want more visibility. We all have a problem in terms of growing our business, and the problem is with all the people that there is in our community or wherever our geographical area is, how many of those know that we exist, that we are here as an option for them? Usually the answer is, well, it's a very small percentage, right? Sometimes they'll say, well, maybe like 4% of people know that I'm here. So you have 96% of people that don't know you. So this is why you want more visibility. But ultimately what we all want is we want sales. We want the phone to ring. Basically, this is what we're dealing with. We're looking at this world of social media and all these platforms. By the way, which is really interesting on this, I was looking at this slide. I was going to change it, but I think it's actually great. Do you know that there actually are 2 buttons on this slide of social media that no longer exist? Can you spot them? Vine? Yeah, Vine is gone. Which one? What's the other one? Google Plus. Google Plus is gone. So basically what it does for us as business owners trying to, grow our business, is it leaves us like this. were like, how do I do this? I was just getting used to Vine or Google Plus, and now they just took it away. That's our common frustration, is we're confused, we want more visibility, we want the phone to ring, but we're left like how do I do this? So I'm going to clarify this for you. And then the first thing I want to address tonight is the myth and bad habits around video marketing. Right? There are myth and bad habits that we have. The first one is the 2-minute. Who has heard here, raise your hand, who has heard that your video should be up to 2 minutes, but really the 2-minute mark, this is really the ideal length for a video? Raise your hand. I know everybody has heard it. Okay. Now, let me ask you another question. Who has seen this video? Simon Sinek. It's not the what, it's not the how, but it's the why we do what we do. It's one of the most viewed TEDx, viewed by 35 million people. Anyone has seen it in the room? Yeah, a couple in the back. You've seen it? Okay. That video was 18 minutes and 3 seconds. And I watched every second of it. And if you are going to go and watch it tonight after this presentation, you're going to watch every second of it because it's a great video. So the rule with video marketing is if it's boring, we'll watch 10 seconds of it. And if it's great, we'll watch 30 minutes of it. So basically, don't produce crappy videos. That's basically the rule. But you're not limited to 2 minutes. That is one of the biggest myths. The 2-minute rule is baloney. There's a matter of fact on YouTube, the sweet spot for a video on YouTube is just north of 10 minutes. Right? So it puts this 2-minute completely on its head. Now the second thing, the second bad habit that I see with people when they are thinking of video marketing is we're going to create a commercial. We're going to do a commercial of our business. Now, by show of hand, everybody in the room, when you go on YouTube and you're about to watch a video, but before the video there's an ad that rolls, who systematically will click on the skip button to skip the video? Raise your hand and look around. Yeah, every single person. So my question is, why on God's green earth would you shoot a commercial? That's the last thing we want to see. You guys don't want to see their commercial. You guys don't want to see their commercial. That's the last thing we want to see. We're not interested. Like, you know, it's the same thing with the DVR at home. Like, you know, we call it zip zip in my home. I don't know what you guys call it, but my wife's like zip zip. And I'm like, oh, okay, sorry. Like, we're zipping through the commercials. We don't watch it. So please, if you're thinking video marketing, commercial is really not where it's at. It's just not going to do anything for you. What you have to do is you have to produce videos that matters to them, right? So now we're going to the second point that I want to make, and it's really about the content. And then I heard few people here that are thinking about doing videos to grow their business and whatnot. So we're going to be talking about how to create endless sources of content. My recommendation is to actually reverse engineer the process. What I mean by reverse engineer the process is, what is it that they want to hear? Right? And there is actually, you can find this out. Like whatever business you're in, what is it that they're interested in? What matters to them? What is their basket of oranges? So I have a few tools that I use. The first one is SEMrush. And SEMrush has a tool inside of the platform that's called the Keyword Magic Tool. Now, the Keyword Magic Tool works like this. You put in a keyword and you say, get questions. And what SEMrush is doing is it's aggregating all the questions that people are asking on the internet around that keyword. That keyword here is hearing aids. 10 questions. You want to know what video to do if you have a hearing aids company? Here they are. Right there. That's 10 videos right there. The first one is, does Medicare covers hearing aids? That's what they want to know. 3,600 inquiries per month. People want to know that. Do you think if you sell hearing aids and you create a video that actually answers this question, that will be mildly popular? In a big way. I have done this over and over and over again. And every single time it works. You find out the question they want, You create a video answering that question, and your video just booms. SEMrush is $100 a month. Right, so, and it's great because it's going to give you everything. It's going to give you the volume, it's going to tell you how is it trending, it's going to give you a whole bunch of information about that. But it's $100 a month, and not everybody wants to spend $100 a month. So I have a free solution. Who likes free? Okay, everybody in the room. All right, write this down. Answerthepublic.com. Now, answerthepublic.com is pretty much exactly the same thing as SEMrush, except that it's not going to give you the volume and it's not going to give you whether it's trending or not. But you put in your keyword, you say get questions, it's going to give you a list. By the way, whatever business, whatever industry you're in, using Answer the Public, if you do that tonight, I have no doubt that you will come up with at least 50 topics for videos for you to produce. No questions. You will produce more ideas for content than you can possibly do in your lifetime. Whatever industry you're in, I will literally within an hour, I will come up with 300 individual topics you could be creating. It's all there for you. And it's what they want to know. Right? So if you want to know how do I make revenue, how do I make sales with video marketing, answer their questions. They have questions. You answer it. You answer the question, they watch your video, and now you position yourself in a trusting relationship with authority because obviously you are talking about this, and they're going to be calling you. It's by far, in my 17 years in digital marketing, the most effective way to market my company with videos. And all I do is I answer their questions. Okay? Now, there's another tool that I use, and that's actually for YouTube. So the people that are interested into YouTube, that's a great tool. What it does, if you see in the upper right-hand corner, it will actually show you the volume. So I took the question, how much are your hearing aids? And then right to the right, it's actually showing me the search volume for that question, specifically on YouTube. Then it's going to tell me how competitive it is. So I want this to be in the green, not in the red. And underneath, it's going to tell me overall, it's good. It's a 63 out of 100. What you want to stay away from is you want to stay away from questions that are super competitive. Like for example, like for us is what is SEO? Okay, so yeah, a lot of people want to know what SEO is, but guess what? If I put that thing, there's going to be like 50 million videos answering that question, right? So you want to make sure that you're producing content that people are asking, but it's not overly competitive. How much are hearing aids? When I did that, it actually told me it was good. Now I want you to look at something. This is the YouTube results, right? So let's back it up. We put hearing aids. People want to know how much are hearing aids. We know that by the volume, right? Everybody's with me, right? So it makes sense. Like, okay, so we put the keyword and we know that they're asking the question. Now look at the top 5 video results. Look at the title of them. Does anyone actually answer the question?
You didn't hear the video.
That's right. So what do you think would happen if you're in a hearing aids business and you create a video, a good video, that actually says, how much are hearing aids? Your video will go number 1. But it's not going to happen overnight, by the way. You're not going to put the video in and all of a sudden it's going to happen. But that's basically it. YouTube does not have a video that answers that question. YouTube says, I don't have it, but that's what I got. So this is what you have. Do you see the opportunity there? And by the way, this is one question. The hearing aids, there's 100 videos you could be doing that are exactly the same way. There is not a video answering the question. It's staggering. It's a massive opportunity if you're in the hearing aids business. By the way, whatever business you're in, it's pretty much the same thing. You're in a financial business, you want to teach financial literacy. I bet that if we put your keywords in there, we'll find out on YouTube, there's hardly any videos answering the questions people are asking. That's how you make money. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Everybody has their head blown a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, just like, oh my God, I gotta go and do a video right now. Yeah, it's like this, right? Which is, by the way, it's great news. That's a huge opportunity. Let me ask you a question. In the room, who in the last 30 days has gone to YouTube looking for a how-to video? Raise your hand. In the last 30 days. Okay, every single person in the room. Who has done it in the last 7 days? Still there. Who is doing it right now? Please stop. Right? 51% of all searches on YouTube are how-to related. Let me say that again. 51% of all searches are how-to related. Do you think you should probably maybe create how-to videos? That's what we want to consume. When I ask you, how to, everybody raise their hand. That's what we want, right? That's what matters to us. There's a book by Marcus Sheridan called They Ask, You Answer. And he actually did some study around it. And he found out that these are the 5 subjects that every buyer wants to know. If you want to buy a refrigerator, if you want to buy a new computer, if you want to buy a car, if you want to buy a course, if you want to buy anything, these are the questions you want to know. By the way, how much are hearing aids? In the first 10 questions people ask, 7 of them were around cost. And you could say, okay, hearing aids is older people, they don't have as much money, so of course they're going to ask the cost. You do plumbing, 6 of the 10 questions is about cost. How much does a plumber make an hour? That's one of the first questions. That's what we want to know. And then we want to know problems with this. And then we want comparison, this versus that. And we want to see the reviews. There's nothing we can do about reviews. Reviews are organic. People will put reviews and that's that. So, but those are the 5 things we want to know. And then best. Best computer for. So think about it in terms of how does that fit within whatever you're selling, because people want to know that. They want to know what is the cost to whatever buying a course about financial literacy. They want to know. That's going to be one of their questions. Every single buyer is going to want to know that. Your job as a business owner or as a marketer is provide the answers to those questions. And the reason why you should do it is because if you don't do it, well, someone else will. And that's going to piss you off. Yeah. All right, so basically this is what matters to them. That's what they want to know. They have questions, how much does it cost, and all these things. That's basically your framework right there for creating videos. You probably have, with those ideas here, you probably have like maybe a couple of years worth of video content. And if you thought your video should be about you just talking and say, hi, I'm having a nice day and I want to share it, that's not what they want to know. What they want to know is those questions. The third thing that people want to know is how to start a video. How do you start a video? Right? So that's one of the problems that a lot of people, and I see that all the time. Have you ever experienced that? You have a video on LinkedIn or on YouTube, and within like 15 seconds, you're like, oh, this is painful. Where is he going with that? He's just like talking head and talking. Well, one of the reasons why is because they're not following the APP method. So there's 2 methods. The first one is the APP method. And the APP method is agree, promise, and preview. This is how you start your video. So let me give you an example of how that actually looks. The APP method is agree. I am sure you would agree that starting a video is not always easy. That would be one way to start it, right? And then you go into the promise. But what if I told you that there is actually an easy method to start all your videos? And then you promise, in this video, I am going to show you the 3-step method to start all your videos. Did you see what I just did there, by the way? I did the video for APP. So what happens now? Well, first of all, we have an agreement in terms of what the problem is. So if you look at it and you say, oh, okay, yeah, I do have that problem. I don't know how to start my videos. And then I tell you, well, there's a way that you could do it. And I'm telling you there's a 3-step process. You know exactly what you're in for. This person is going to deliver to me a 3-step method. Now I'm sticking around. Does that make sense? Yeah. I mean, I could go into the video and just start blabbering and then just explaining the problems, but I know that number one, you don't have the patience, and number two, you don't care about whatever backstory I have. You want me to get to the point. We're all busy, right? Everybody's with me there? Now there's a second method. The second method is called the bridge method. The bridge method is DCO, desired situation, current situation, and offer a bridge. That's a different way to start a video, but it's super important. You know, the first 10, 15, actually the first 30 seconds of a video is super important to set it up properly so people stick around. So they need to know what is the problem and what is it that you're going to be delivering as a solution, the methodology, the number of steps, that they actually know what they're in for. If you don't do that, this is why people drop off. They don't know where you're going with this. Do you know what I mean? And especially because you don't know the person. You're like, I don't know where you're going with this, and then boom, you're gone. I mean, it just takes 15 seconds and you're gone, you're on to the next video. All right, so this will look like this. Imagine if you never had to, but right now so you basically are describing where they are, and in this video I am going to, so now this is basically, it's a different way of set it up. Right, you have the APP and the DCO, the bridge method, but there are two different ways. Whatever you do, you need to adapt it to your style. I'm going to have my style, you're going to have your style, but it doesn't matter, the style is your own. What you need to do is you need to make sure you start your video so people know exactly what's in it for them, and then they'll stick around. Does that make sense? Yes. All right, cool. If you want a free copy of this, you can text me your email to 561-285-2967, and I will send you that. Now, you're not signing up for a funnel. You're not being put into a mailing list where I'm going to be sending you stuff. This is a Google number. It is going to come in my inbox. I will take your email, and then I will send you a copy of what you're seeing right there, which is a template to help you draft your first script. If you're doing video marketing, you absolutely have to write a script. There's nobody that just wakes up in the morning, gets in front of the camera, and starts to blabber away. It doesn't exist. Anyone that is successful in video marketing will have some form of a script. Whether it's written word for word or whether it's the main ideas, it's actually written down. You absolutely need to write it down. Do not sit in front of the camera until you have written at least an outline of what you want to talk about. Now, there's a couple of school of thoughts. Some people like the teleprompter. I personally don't like it. I prefer to kind of like have the idea of what I'm going to be talking with that specific point, and then I just go for it. And if I screw it up, I'm like, okay, I'm doing this again, and then I'm going to deliver that again, because you can edit. And then the second thing is rehearse it. All my videos are rehearsed. You know, I write a script, I write the bullets. I don't go in front of a mirror, by the way. I just, stand in my room and I just read it. All right, so let's go into fourth, which is about how to grow and promote your channel. Now, once you create videos, there's multiple outlets for you to post your videos. And all of them are right if they're right for you, right? Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. They're all right. They all have their different format. I think what's really more important for you to understand is the format and the context for each platform. So obviously, if you have a younger audience that is hip, that is basically not me, you want to be on Instagram, right? If your audience is old, bald, white dude like me, then it's more like Facebook. That's where I'm going to be hanging, right? So you need to know who's on what. Yeah, and basically on YouTube, well, guess what people go on YouTube for? They go for how-to content, right? And LinkedIn, well, it's a lot of B2B. So you can look at all the platforms. Now, one of the mistakes that I see people do is they'll do one video and then they'll take the exact same video and put in all the channels. That's a big no-no. Please do not do that. Facebook is not the same as YouTube. And YouTube is not the same as Instagram. And Instagram is not the same as LinkedIn. They're all different. They all have a different format. And what you need to do is you need to make sure which platform is best for me, and then adapt your video to that platform. Does that make sense? All right. From my viewpoint, as a digital marketer, the two 800-pound gorilla in the room is Facebook and YouTube. Like everybody, I hear, well, what about Instagram? Instagram, great for 18 to 35. What about LinkedIn? LinkedIn, great for B2B. And there's nothing wrong with that. But in my opinion, if you want to grow with video marketing, if you want to grow your business, these are the two places where I would play really hard. Right? So let me talk to you about YouTube. The biggest mistake that people think about YouTube, it is all about the subscribers. I did ask him how many subscribers he has, but I'm pretty much sure I know that he knows, and I know that it's not about the subscribers. The subscribers is the reward you get for producing good content. But this is not what we measure. Because really, ultimately, it's not that relevant. It's a reward. That's how you get some sort of fame, but this is not what we measure. That's not what's important. What's important is that YouTube is suggesting your videos. Now, how you get YouTube to suggest your videos is by creating good content. What you need to look for is you need to look for that. There's a dashboard in the back end, and it will tell you the percentage of YouTube suggesting your content. Here on this channel, 61.3% of all suggestion comes from YouTube, which means that YouTube likes this channel. It's doing the work for you. And what you want to look for is you want to make sure that your numbers are above 50%. Because this is an indication. See, YouTube is in a business of keeping you on their channel. They want to keep you on the channel as long as possible. So what they're looking for is they're looking for content that you and I watch and enjoy. Right? So that's how they're rewarding you. So the first thing I'll look, if I'm going to go and look at your channel, I'm going to look at that number. What is your percentage of suggested video? If I see 15%, we've got a lot of work to do. Right? YouTube is not super happy with your content. It thinks it's okay, still suggesting it by 15%, but that's the number you want to get to. You want to get to over 50%. 50% and above, this is when you have a video that actually is doing really good. And the second thing is your audience retention, which I think that that's probably the most important. And the audience retention is going to look something like that. So you're pulling up a video and you can look at your audience retention, and you're looking at people, they start the video and they start to drop off. Now, the result for that video is 50.6%, which is right above where it needs to be. Right? We actually want to make sure that people are going to stick around above 50% on our video. If they don't watch at least 50% of the videos, it is going to be really difficult for this video to actually take off. And the chances of it taking off is very slim. Does that make sense? Right? So pay attention to what the percentage of YouTube suggesting, which needs to be above 50%, and that your audience retention is above 50%. If you have a video, if your channel is above 50% YouTube suggestion and that specific video is above 50% audience retention, that video is doing awesome. Chances are when you first start, it's not going to look like that. Right? People are going to drop, you're going to have a 25% retention rate. People will drop enough. So there are problems, right? Your content is not sufficiently interesting, or your persona or how you are on camera is not, it doesn't work for the audience. But you actually know. You actually are looking at this and you actually know. You're like, okay, got it. So that didn't work. You don't have to be in the dark. You don't have to figure out whether that video worked or it didn't work. YouTube is telling you. The audience is just bailing out. In the retention, by the way, there's this thing where you can actually put your video next to the audience retention. And I want you to pay attention to those little peaks there. Those little peaks in retention. And I was really puzzled by it. I'm like, how do you have more people after than you had before? For me, it should go down and down and down. How does it go down and then back up? That makes no sense, right? Until I figured out what this is. This is actually people rewinding the video and watching it again. So what this tells you is at that specific point, there's a point you're making that people are either confused about or they're enjoying it, which is awesome news for you. Because if you look at that specific moment, which is what this is right there on the right, I'm looking at exactly at that spot. Oh, people wanted to watch that again. And I'm like, therefore, when I'm talking about that point number one, that's something that is important to them. Maybe it's a point for another video. I could elaborate on this point. All right, now let's talk about Facebook. For $8 to $9 with a boosted post on Facebook, you will get approximately 1,000 people reached. So if I put $8 on a post, this video, which we're talking about video, this video should reach about 1,000 people. That's a measure. So basically what you want to know when you're boosting a video on Facebook, if you're getting 500 to 700 people reach, it's meh, it's not that good. If you're getting less than 500, it's no good. That video is not performing well. So the good news is that you don't have to spend a fortune to figure out, is that video performing well? Now the second thing that you want to look at is you want to look at the through plays. Now the true plays is when people are watching the video over 15 seconds. Now the problem with Facebook is it looks at the views, and the views is really misleading because views counts after 3 seconds. Right? Which basically, if you're looking through your feed and then you'll stop 1, 2 seconds and you keep going, you count it as a view. You didn't view that video. Like, can you relate to that? You've seen those, like you watch it for 1, 2 seconds, you keep going. But Facebook consider that as a view, and it's like, no, that's not a view. That's someone who just scroll by. Through play, sorry, that's someone that actually, the minimum bar to meet that criteria is 15 seconds. It's 15 seconds to the end of the video, so it doesn't make a difference. So it's all that group of people. But that number is super important here. If you have a video that is between 5 to 10 cents per through play, it's meh. And if it's above 10 cents, it's no good. That video doesn't perform well. So if you have a video that you want to boost, here's the game plan. You put that video for $7, $1 a day for 7 days. And at the end of 7 days, you look, and if that video at least reached 1,000 people, and your through plays is under 5 cents, then that video is performing very well. So you can stop wasting money on videos that are not performing well. That's mind-boggling for me. When I got that, I'm like, that is the framework. That's how you know. You create a video. Could you spend $7 on a video? Yeah, that doesn't hurt, right? $7 is nothing. And you know immediately. You do the math. Did it reach 1,000 people? Is it less than 5 cents per through play? Great, that video is working. And if it does that, then you can actually spend $30 for 30 days because that video is doing very well. Basically, Facebook is giving you the answer to should I invest more money? Because a lot of people have tried videos at one point or another on Facebook, and they're like, I tried it and it didn't work. Yeah, well, welcome to the club, brother. But what you want to look at is you want to look at those numbers. They're not all going to work. There, as a matter of fact, we're finding out that basically 1 out of 10 videos really performs well. So basically, you have to go through 9 videos that are not going to perform well. But the good news is you don't have to spend a fortune. You just spend $7 and then you know this video is not doing well. It got only 500, it reached only 500 people, and I spent 15 cents per through plays. Get rid of it. Let's create another one. And basically what you want to do is you want to get yourself where you have 3 that are top of the funnel, tofu, mofu, and lofu. Top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel. So that's your game plan. Create videos, post them on Facebook until you have 3 for each level. And it's basically, that means that if you're going to need to have 9 videos, you're probably going to have to go through 100 videos. Maybe you'll get lucky. Maybe you'll get 1 out of 5 videos that's performing well. And maybe you'll be average, like most of us, it's going to be 1 out of 10. But at least you don't have to spend a fortune. And in my humble opinion, this is absolutely amazing. This is something that we didn't have a few years ago. And when you're putting a video, you want to make sure that you have a target audience, right? You're targeting, you know, men in that age group that have that type of income, or women in that age group that have that like yoga, right? So that's your, whatever it is, like, you know, you can create a really custom target audience. And then after that, well, it's the same group. You know, you want to try multiple target audience with multiple videos, see what performs well. And then once you have a video that's performing well, then try it against different target audience. Maybe you'll get a better results with, you know, women in their 30s than women in their 40s. Then, okay, great, let's put that content. And then you can have a video that's top of the funnel. So top of the funnel is mostly educational. Right, it's an educational video. I'm just giving you information that you find useful, which is, you know, the reverse engineer that we talk about. Middle of the funnel is a little bit of education with an invitation to try something. Right, so you educate and you invite, and then the bottom of the funnel is strictly, okay, it's time to buy. But you only do that to people that have been engaging with your content over time. Does that make sense? If you ask me which video should I make, and I'm like, I don't know. Reverse engineer the content, find out what they want to know about your business, produce videos, put them on Facebook, $7 for 7 days, you'll have your answer. You call me, you say, okay, 1,200 people reach and I pay 2 cents per 3 plays. Great. First video, you need 8 more. Here's what we need to stop, all of us as marketers. We need to stop this nonsense. I have prospects that come to me and it says, we need help with our social media. And I go on their Facebook page and this is the type of stuff that I see. Post after post after post after post of boring crap. Pardon my French again. Boring stuff. How do I know it's boring? No likes, no comments, no shares. We need to stop this. This is nonsense. Except the 3 at the top. They have 1 like. Which I looked. Do you know who that is, right?
That's the poster.
That's the marketer. That is freaking sad. That is sad. You know, as a marketer, you cannot do that. You need to have at least 10 people that like it before you do. Like, don't do that. I see this stuff and I'm like, what's the arrangement? Oh, I get a 7 post a week arrangement. And I'm like, this is nonsense. You need to stop this thing. Basically, what you're doing is literally detrimental. You're telling Facebook, by the way, I post boring crap. Don't ever, ever, ever show it to anyone. And Facebook will oblige. It will never, ever show it to anyone. Do not do that. If it has no likes, no comments, no share, take it out. Nobody wants to see it. Not even you. Do you know what I mean? I'm telling, did you read any of this crap? And they're like, no. I'm like, it's not even like potty reading. It's unreadable. It's stop. Like, let's not do that. The bottom line is, in digital marketing, it's always the same thing. The quality of the creative is the X factor. People says, how do I win on social media with my videos? Well, there's no hacks. There's no trick. It's just quality content. The quality of the creative is always the X factor. If it doesn't work, it's not that Facebook is broken. The quality of your creative sucks. And it's not bad. It's actually telling you. It only reached 500 people and it costs you 15 cents per true plays. Okay, great. I just learned what not to do. And the context of the creative is always the X factor. That's the mistake that I see, is people like putting their YouTube video and put it on Facebook. Like, I mean, I have seen some people actually uploading their Instagram square format picture, a minute video, put it on YouTube, and I'm like, oh, seriously, you're not doing this. I'm not kidding, like some big organizations that are doing this. This is nonsense. This is not what we're going to YouTube for. We're going to YouTube for how-to content. Your square Instagram video has no business whatsoever on YouTube. You need to respect the context. The context is always decisive, and the context of the creative is the X factor. So how do we generate revenue with our videos, to wrap this up? Well, we need to understand one thing, and I think that number is super important, is 70% of the decision is made before they contact you. 70%. That's a study that actually came out. 70%. Like how many of you in the room actually just go and buy something blindly? Nobody does. Yeah, okay, one person. All right, please spot her, take a picture. Yeah. Now, the vast majority of us will do a little bit of research, right? We're going to go on Google. We're going to look at the best this, and we're going to look at comparison. Like, you all do it. Even if you're hiring a digital marketing agency, if you're going to buy a camera, if you're going to buy a refrigerator, if you're going to be hiring a speaker for a conference, you're going to be looking at that. You're going to be looking at all this. So 70% of the decisions is made before they even talk to you. They have educated themselves. Every single one of you in this room has looked at some content, how-to content in the last 30 days, 7 days, and whatnot. So they're coming to you already educated. The question is, did they educate themselves with your content, or did they educate themselves with your competition's content? And if whoever has the content, whoever is doing the best of, how much does it cost and everything, will win the battle every single time. Basically what we do as marketers is we do that. We chase butterflies. That's what we do. We're just chasing butterflies. We're like, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. And that's crazy. That's not how we want to do marketing. We need to produce content that matters to them. And if you do that, then basically what you're doing is you're building a butterfly garden. They're coming to you. That's how it works. Basically, if you do that, if you build a butterfly garden, you'll get more leads. If you have more leads, you have more revenue. My name is Antoine Dupont. Thank you very much.